welcome back to my channel. My name is Meredith and I upload videos twice a week all about homemaking, so cooking, cleaning, how I take care of my family of 5, and we are in baseball season right now. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I have 3 kids. They are ages 10, 7.5, and 5. And so far, only my 10-year-old is playing baseball. Come along with me and see what I do to prep my family for a baseball tournament weekend, because I know all the sports families out there need all the help they can get with organizing, planning, and feeding everyone. So what I like to do is either go to like Costco or Sam's, and this week I did just an Instacart Sam's Club order, and I didn't have a lot to restock this week, so it's one of my smaller orders that I get, but I did find these really cool individual bags of dill pickles. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's probably really expensive, and you, yes, could just go out to the store yourself and get a little jar of pickles, but I really wanted to see if this box was worth it, because in my opinion, it would be really cool if you're doing team snacks or like snack bags, because I feel like sometimes we all just like do the same thing or we run out of ideas. So I really wanted to get that to just check it out and see if it was worth it. I of course love to get their chicken enchiladas. This is from Sam's Club. These are so good. It is such a delicious meal. It's super easy to just pop in the oven, and honestly my family of 5 gets 2 full dinners out of that. I also love to stock up on any of the frozen Jimmy Dean like breakfast sandwiches, sausages, anything like that, because that is a really quick and easy breakfast that has good carbs and protein before a really long tournament. I will say I probably won't get those like McGriddle kind of things again, because when I warm up the egg, it just like never gets warmed up enough. And even though my kids like those, I'll probably just buy like the pre-made individual pancakes and sausage themselves and then just like put the sandwich together. So going forward, that's probably the only thing that I would leave out, and I would just get like the sausage corn dogs again instead. Okay, so back to these, yes, expensive pickles, but who cares? First of all, they're so cute. Look at this box. It's super easy to take around. Throw this in your car. It comes in a box of 12, and this is how it looks on the inside, individually wrapped, and it does say no brine. The only thing with pickles I worry about like traveling with them is brine or the pickle juice, because just kind of gets all over everything. Even in a Ziploc bag, I feel like it just like kind of goes everywhere. So here's what it looks like on the inside. There's like a handful of pickles in there, which is plenty for a serving size of 1, and you can see there's not really much like brine or pickle juice. So it is correct, they didn't add any, but there still is some at the bottom, so if you are eating that, you obviously don't want to like dump it over anything. It's definitely an excellent like a grab and go item for your team if you are looking for something like that. That box of 12 was about $10 or $11, I think, so it's just under $1 per pack. My go-to snacks and sandwiches that I always make for every single tournament are these red like cotton candy grapes. These are from Sam's Club, and when you're there, you want to see this candy hearts label. That tells you that it's like the cotton candy, they're the sweeter grapes. And when I'm getting those through Instacart, I always get 2 of them because I like my grapes extremely crispy and not like mushy at all. Once I have all the food and dinners and groceries and snacks like all prepped and ready to go, I make sure all of our laundry is done and confirm like what the uniform is for the weekend. I go ahead and I get everything washed, and I like to just air dry all of the baseball uniform stuff. That way like nothing really messes up with the jerseys or shrinks or changes on sizing or anything like that. Now I will say this is going to be a first for me this weekend. My son's team, they have the like the button up jerseys, and a couple of the buttons had fallen off, so I had to teach myself how to sew those buttons back on. And honestly, as a homemaker, I should already know how to do that, but I didn't. So I just had to look up on TikTok how to sew a button back on. So I'm glad I learned that skill. Which reminds me, that is another item that I would put in your like bog bag or baseball bag or whatever you have. Get a small sewing kit, because sometimes when those buttons fall off, which they shouldn't, but sometimes they do, and if kids don't have an undershirt, like an Under Armour shirt underneath their jersey, it's just if the middle buttons popped off, some of the kids on the team were uncomfortable, so it's like you need to like quickly learn how to sew that button back on. I also like to go ahead and find every single uniform item, because let me tell you what, I am not a morning person. So come the morning of a tournament, especially if we are the 8 a.m. game, I am not about to be running around trying to find every single item that we need. I am triple checking the team messages and seeing what we're wearing on the Saturday games and what we're wearing for the Sunday games, and I go ahead and get all of that laid out. My son is a catcher, so I also go ahead and lay out like everything he will need for that, including like catcher's underwear, the cup, every single thing is laying right there for him. These Hawaiian roll sandwiches are such a hit, and it's such a staple for any kind of like sports family or travel ball family. These are so simple and easy to make, and my favorite part about them is that they fit perfectly in this little travel container right here. I leave all the condiments and like toppings off of it, that way like the bread doesn't get mushy or anything, so I only put meat and cheese on there. And this week I did honey ham and white American cheese. I really like American cheese, specifically like the white American one with it, because it just kind of like melts into the bread. And the only other cheese that my family really likes is Colby Jack, because you don't want something too strong of a cheese on the sandwich. That way they can have like just a light, quick snack and meal in between games. found these containers on TikTok Shop, and I will have them linked down below in the description box. So if you just click that link in the description box below, it will take you to my TikTok Shop video, and then you will have the link directly to order these. These are so amazing. They come in like a couple different sizes. So they come in a little 8 count or a 4 count. The 8 count has the handle, and I just hand wash these. I think they're dishwasher safe, but I like to just hand wash it just to make sure that it's fine. You're also able to take those containers out if you want. So if you just wanted to use a couple of them for snacks or condiments and then put sandwiches or something else on the other side, I've done that before. It works really well. And what I do is I prep all of these sandwiches in one container, and then I'll split them up. So half the sandwiches and beef jerky and cheese and grapes will go in one container for Saturday, and then I will have another one already ready to go for Sunday. It just makes things that much easier. And honestly, anything that we don't eat at the fields, or if we're done early for some reason, we have it when we come home, and I use any leftovers for my kids' lunches. You can also interchange those containers from the 8 and 4 count. They fit in both containers perfectly. And the beef jerky that I like to get, sometimes my kids don't really eat the grass-fed beef jerky. Sometimes they'll eat chomps, but if not, then I try to get these Jack Links that are 100% beef. They have no nitrates or anything like that in there, because sometimes my kids will like get headaches from stuff like that. So I really just try to stay clear of everything else. And those are delicious. They taste great, and they're not grass-fed. So if you have kids who are not super keen to that kind of like distinct grass-fed beef jerky, this is a great option for you. You'll also get 5 grams of protein per stick in there. Now I go ahead and I just cut the sticks in half. That way they can fit in these containers right here. And I have a couple left over from last weekend's tournament. We do have tournaments like back-to-back weekends, so I was able to save that and restock for this weekend. Comment below anything that y'all think that I'm missing. What is your favorite snack? What's your favorite little sandwich that you take for your family or your team that everyone just loves? Because sometimes I feel like I just make the same things over and over and over, but they just taste delicious. They're light enough. They have like good carbs and protein for my son. And those 4 things are pretty much my go-tos. I will make the Hawaiian roll slider sandwiches, Colby Jack cheese, beef jerky, and grapes. I also bring like watermelon, strawberries, sometimes popsicles. We live in Florida, so it obviously gets extremely hot as the season goes on. And once we get to that point, I really focus on trying to just bring a bunch of cooling towels, anything that he can get rehydrated with, and have our tents up so he can have shade and a lot of fans on them. Everything y'all see here today will be linked in the bottom bar below, and is either linked and can be found in my Amazon storefront or my TikTok shop. So if you can't find anything, just comment below and I'll help you find the link for it. The next problem that everybody needs to solve is how you fit everything in your vehicle. Since I have 3 kids, you better believe that I have a Suburban so I can keep them separated. And with that being said, I have a 2016 Suburban and I have the captain's chair, so they're able to be separated, and one of them will sit in the very back. Now, the only time we will have the 3rd row down, we will just have the 1 seat down on the right hand side so we can bring our huge 12 by 12 tent. And you can see here, this is where we put the cooler. This is how I fit everything in the cooler. We are not using ice at this point. We are only using Yeti ice packs. And honestly, I was shocked how well that they worked. The Uncrustables were still frozen with no ice cubes in there, only those Yeti ice packs. So we have our cooler, our fans, all of our chairs, our double-decker wagon is right here, right behind the seat. And then you can see the tent that's on the right hand side. And we had to get a new tent because ours broke. So we decided just to go ahead and get the 12 by 12 tent. So it's gigantic. And like I was saying earlier, my son is a catcher. So of course we have all of the catcher's gear too on top of that. But that is how we are able to fit every single thing in my vehicle, how we have it set up. And then I will most likely pull our cooler in, and then my husband will pull in the double-decker wagon. But if for some reason I'm by myself, honestly, my 5 and 7-year-old could pull the cooler in if needed. That double-decker wagon is my favorite thing that I have got. It is from TikTok Shop. I've linked it down below. It's incredible. It's super easy to use, super easy to open and close. It has a weight capacity of 450 pounds. So honestly, you can fit every single thing that you would need on there. On the bottom part, we put all chairs, and our 12 by 12 tent fits on the bottom part. I am so happy it is baseball season. It's one of my favorite times of year, and it is extra special being a mom of a sweet little baseball player. Thank y'all so much for watching. See you next week.